Hello, this is Jeff Byers, and this is Andy 245, and we are on Module 7, the Ultimate Walker. We're creating a walk cycle, and we have just created the contact poses. So now we've got to move on to the passing poses. So the contact poses are 0, 12, and 24. Just double check that. And then we're going to start with the passing poses at 6. So when this foot crosses over, so if I go start and I'm gonna just kind of scrub, you can see that depending on what we have set forth, meaning that our lead leg will be planted and our opposite leg, our left leg, will be up. So that's our passing right there. So at 6, you can see that we've got to make some adjustments, don't we? All right, so let's go to frame 6. And we have our left leg is up, okay? Let's click on our right leg. And that's the red. And let's move that down, okay? And we also want to zero all this out, okay? All right, and we want to make sure our heel is up. Like that. That's what our plan is. There we go. And then the other leg, okay, the other leg, we are going to zero this out like that. And we are going to move that up like that. All right, so you can see that we need to rotate that character's leg down like that. Now, naturally, we've got to move the body up. Okay, we've got to move the body up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that because we're getting kind of cramped here for space. I'm going to move the body up to where it feels comfortable. The passing, you can see where his legs is perfectly straight. We don't want to do that. So if you go perfectly straight, see how it snaps? We don't want that, so give it a little bit of down motion there. And that gives us some room here for the other foot. Now, when we pass, there's not much distance between the ground and our foot. So as long as it's clearing it, we're good. So I'm going to hit the 4 key to kind of see where we're at with the clearing that foot here. All right, so we kind of want to get at that feeling, so I'm going to move that back just a little bit like that, move it up. Okay, and we want to rotate it a little bit more like that. We kind of want to get that feeling or that look and move that up a little bit like that. So we're just passing that foot, okay? Now this timing here needs to be, kind of get that set up. And again, we're just barely missing the ground, okay? All right, so let's take a look at the image again. All right, we're pretty close to that, okay? We can bring it back a little bit farther if we want to, like that maybe. Okay, we're just missing that. Okay, again, you can see everything is keyframing, right? AutoKey is working great. So I think we're pretty close to that key pose. It could be something around here like that. Your choice. I'm going to do right about there. And of course, I won't know until I get the cycle, until I start seeing what it looks like to make further judgment on that one. So that one's done. So we've got, let's go ahead and scrub. Got this. Okay, got coming down like that. So it looks pretty good. Okay. Now obviously, this keyframe here didn't stay the same as this. You can see that it kind of moved that. So I'm going to have to take this, okay, and plant it. You can see that there's no keyframes here, which is odd because I didn't move it. So I'm going to go from frame 1 or from 0, copy that. I'm just going to do it on this one. on frame 12, I'm going to paste, see if that fixes that. And we're off a little bit on that position. Okay, so we got this. And so I've got to move this position around a little bit on frame 12 just to make sure it's working. Okay, so now that looks good. Okay, so we got frame 0. I'm just kind of scrubbing very slowly, seeing how the animation looks. That looks pretty solid. Okay, so that looks pretty solid to me. There we go. Good block out. That's good. Okay, I think we got that fixed. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get that 5 key back. Hit the 5 key and get that solid shade. And then I'm going to move this one to 18. You can see how that kind of messes up. So I'm going to go to 18 and do the same exact thing. Click on that and just kind of zero this out. Just hitting 0, enter. And I'm going to do the same thing with the blue. Now, they're hard to get a hold of, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. Or you can go to your perspective and get it. Perspective view. So I'm just zeroing those out, just like I did before. Kind of give me an even playing field. Also, the rotational value of this is messed up as well. Right? So I'm going to, that's in the X, so I'm going to hit the 0 on that. You zero that one out. And click off, go to the next one, and then 0 that one out. There we go. So I have somewhere to go, just kind of a neutral pose, if you will, or a neutral position there with those. And this blue now is the down position on the floor, and the red is now the position that will go down. So I'm going to move that up and then rotate that down, you see, like that. To get that position, of course, I need to move that and position that in the right place. And so everything should be working pretty good. And so when I get that done, I'm going to look at frame 6 where this is at, and that's at negative 0.031. I can actually copy that, Control C, and bring it over to 18 and paste that, Control V, and paste that and hit enter. So this will get us to where we need to be here. There we go. You can see that kind of snapped. A little bit too high for that position. Okay, so I'm going to move that back down a little bit. There we go. There. Okay. So it's not going to be perfect, but we'll get it pretty close. There we go. And again, I've got auto key on, so it's actually selecting it. I think before we weren't moving it, so it was kind of messed up. All right, so we've got this guy right here. This is our passing. All right, that looks pretty good. I'm going to hit the 4 key again to kind of see where we're at when we're passing. There we go. All right, so that looks pretty good. And let's kind of take a look at what we have so far. So I'm going to scrub, watching the feet, going frame by frame, making sure everything clears. Okay, that looks good. Contact, crossover. There we go. All right, let's take a look at the perspective view of this and play the animation. Okay, so we have a little bump there. That's because I'll need to take the frame 0 out at the very end, but don't let that worry you. It's going to have to be a slight pause. That's not anything you did. Okay, so the timing looks good. The block out looks good. And we're going to move on to the next poses. Okay, next key poses. And that's the up and down. So I think we've actually got the up and down positions looking pretty good. Okay. All right, so let's see if it's smooth, and we like what's happening here with this. Again, that slight pause is from 24 to frame 0. So let me show you how to fix that. what you can do is, it's non-destructive, you can just go to frame 0 with your play, right? So I'm see the slider, I'm just moving that white and I'm moving it over to 1. So when I play this, let's go back to the beginning. Let's play this and it'll just play what I see there, and you can see it's a better, it's just playing at frame 1 through 24. Gives us a lot smoother look. So again, I'm going to take a look at this very slowly, kind of pick it apart, making sure when it hits the ground, that's going up, hits the ground, it goes up, hits the ground. Okay, that looks good. It's a good start. Okay, so, all right, with the next video, we're going to go ahead and continue working on our walk animation to kind of give you some idea. Even though we're just doing the lower body, we're not doing the arms, of course. It's got no arms. The bot has no arms. So we've got to really focus on just side to side. We have to think about when we walk, how the mechanics work when we're walking. The hips go down at certain times. They rotate. So we got to get that into our animation and make it look more fluid. Right now it looks kind of robotic, and you're thinking to yourself, well, it's a robot. Well, we want to make this robot look more realistic. So we got to look at the front too as well when we walk, how the hips work. So we're going to add that into it. Let's kind of look at some other things. We'll finish everything up hopefully in the next video. All right, I'll see you then.